Welcome back to the Wild Files, the podcast where we talk hiring, people strategy, leadership, growth, culture, and all the things MSP leaders often know deep down, but rarely say out loud. I'm your host, Jane Matthews, founder of Wildcat Careers, where we work exclusively with MSPs to fix broken hiring processes, craft cultures people actually want to work in, and build teams that succeed. And today we're going to talk about the most underestimated documents in business, the humble job advert. Yes, that thing many people throw together in, say, 20 minutes between meetings. That thing copied from an old version, tweaked slightly, then launched into the world with fingers crossed and hope doing most of the heavy lifting. That thing many leaders see as admin. Today I want to challenge that completely, because your job advert is not admin. It's not paperwork. It's not a task to delegate badly and forget. Your job advert is a mirror. It reflects your leadership clarity. It reflects your standards. It reflects how well you understand the market. It reflects whether this hire has been thought through or panicked through. And the truth many businesses do not realise is this: candidates are reading far more than the words. They're reading between the lines. They're reading tone. They're reading intent. They're reading maturity. They are reading whether this opportunity feels exciting or exhausting. And, if your advert feels confused, bloated, vague, unrealistic, or stitched together in desperation, good people, well, they quietly scroll past. Then leaders say, nobody decent out there. Maybe. Or maybe decent people read your advert and decided not to volunteer for chaos. That is what today's episode is all about. Why your job advert may be telling on you. What strong candidates hear when they read it. Why so many MSP roles feel harder to fill than they should. And how to write job adverts that attract better people without pretending to be something you're not. So let's get into it. Let's be honest about how many job adverts come into existence, not strategically, emotionally. Something has happened, someone resigned, a client has landed, the team is overloaded, tickets are stacking up, a manager is frustrated, leadership feels pressure, and suddenly someone says, we need someone yesterday. Now, whether a business says they needed someone yesterday, whenever they do that, what they usually mean is, well, we ignored it for 6 months and now it feels urgent. Then comes the advert creation process. Find the last advert, copy it, add a few new tools, add cloud, add security, add project work, add leadership potential, add flexibility, add commercial awareness, add willingness to muck in, add must thrive under pressure, then publish. And everyone waits for miracles. But miracles rarely apply through LinkedIn or Indeed. You see, panic writing creates panic adverts. And panic adverts have a smell. Candidates can sense them. You know the type. The advert that sounds, breathless. The advert asking for everything. The advert with no salary apart from competitive. The advert with, 20 bullet points. The advert where you cannot tell if the role is service desk, project engineer, or replacement parent. You see, candidates read those and think, this is messy, this is rushed. This feels like they do not really know what they need. And uncertainty is really dangerous in hiring. Because, changing jobs is, it feels risky enough already, doesn't it? And nobody wants to leap into fog. Let's pause and think like the candidate, especially a strong candidate. They already have a job. They may be underpaid, underused, or underwhelmed, but they have security. They know the systems, they know the personalities, they know where their biscuits are. So for them to move, the next role must feel worth the disruption. That means when they read your advert, they are asking, do these people know what they need? Does this role, make sense? Will I be walking into overload? Will I be actually supported? Will I be valued? Is this career progress or, career admin? That's what they're evaluating, not just bullet points. Now, let's be honest. Many adverts look like someone's emptied a toolbox on the page. Must know Azure 365, Intune, SharePoint, working firewalls, backups, VMware, Cyber Essentials, PowerShell, VoIP, printers, documentation, account management, project delivery, escalations, coffee making, world peace. And somewhere near the bottom, must have good communication skills. Now, let me be clear. Yes, skills matter, tools matter, capability matters. But giant lists do not create attraction. They create fatigue. Because candidates know no real person perfectly matches giant lists. And the best people often self-select out when adverts feel, well, unrealistic. Average candidates, on the other hand, apply for absolutely everything. Strong candidates, they apply selectively. That is important. Now, let's have some fun because recruitment has its own language of nonsense. When businesses write a fast-paced environment, candidates hear, we're understaffed. When you write, no 2 days are the same here, they hear, God, there's no structure. When you write, must wear many hats, they hear, well, boundaries are missing. When you write competitive salary, they hear, not competitive enough to mention then. When you write, must thrive under pressure, they hear, stress lives here permanently. When you write, work hard, play hard, they hear someone in leadership still thinks it's 2014. Words matter, even cliches carry meaning. Now, imagine reading a dating profile that says must be funny, must be fit, must love travel, must be financially secure, must love dogs, must never be needy, must reply quickly, must enjoy hobbies, must respect my space, must get on with my mum. Well, you would think, good luck with that, my love. This is how some job adverts feel. Demand after demand after demand. No warmth, no personality, no reason anyone should say yes. Just requirements. And hiring is still a two-way decision, guys. Many businesses forget that. So let's talk salary. I know some leaders get twitchy here, but let's be grown-ups about it. Hiding salary often harms good hiring because strong candidates value time. They do not want 3 interviews, a technical test, and a personality questionnaire only to discover the role pays K below market. That's not intrigue, that's irritation. Now, do you always need an exact figure? No, ranges are fine. Context is fine. But mystery for mystery's sake often loses quality people early. Transparency, well, that builds trust, and trust builds applications. Many MSPs say, we want more applicants. Sometimes true, but often what they need is better clarity. Because when the role is clear, the right people can identify themselves. When the role is vague, everyone guesses. That means more irrelevant applications, the chef who's looking to get into IT support, more wasted interviews, more frustration, more noise. Clarity is a filter. It saves time for you, for everyone. So, this is one of my favourite distinctions. Tasks tell me what I'll do. Purpose tells me why I matter. For example, manage escalations, projects, documentation and client support. That's fine, but it's dry. Now try this. Join a growing MSP to reduce escalation pressure, strengthen service delivery and help shape a smarter support environment. Same world. It's a different feeling. One sounds like chores and one sounds like contribution. People want contribution. They want to matter. Now, your advert tone often previews your culture. Cold advert, well, cold assumptions. Messy advert, well, messy assumptions. Sharp human advert, better assumptions. That does not mean casual nonsense. It means sounding like real professionals. Clear, warm, competent, human. If your advert reads like, well, legal paperwork written by a printer, enthusiasm is going to drop. Now, usually they want answers to these questions. I'm talking about candidates. They want to understand, why does this role exist now? What problems am I going to be solving? Who am I reporting to? What will success, or how will success be measured? What support exists? What can this role become? Why should I join this business instead of another one? Simple. Most adverts, though, don't answer any of those well. Now, here's a classic MSP error. Our team is overloaded. So they hire reactively. But instead of solving the pressure problem, they advertise for a superhero. Someone technical, calm, client-facing, commercial, proactive, strategic, fast process-minded, and cheap. That's not hiring, guys. That's fantasy football. And when nobody suitable appears, the market gets blamed. If I was helping an MSP today, this is what I would do immediately. First, cut the bullet points by half. Second, list the 3 skills that truly matter. Third, explain the team and the reporting line. Fourth, state that salary range. Fifth, write a paragraph and progression. Already you're going to be ahead of most of your competitors. Now, sometimes the market is tough, yes. Sometimes there is a genuine shortage, yes. But many hiring struggles are not market problems. They are messaging problems. What do I mean by that? Well, if strong people cannot see themselves succeeding in the role, well, they won't apply. And that's not candidate laziness, that's candidate intelligence. So before you post any advert, I want you to ask yourself this. Would I leave a stable job for this? Would a talented friend be excited by this? Does this sound clear? Does this sound credible? Does this sound like growth? If not, please don't post it yet. Rewrite it, because every poor advert costs time twice. Once when nobody good applies, and then again when you have to start over. So let's land this properly. Your job advert is not just a vacancy notice. It's a first impression, a leadership signal, a market statement, a promise. It tells people whether you think clearly, whether you value time, whether this opportunity is real, whether joining you feels progressive or problems. See, strong candidates are not just reading the words. They are reading the business behind the words. So stop treating adverts like admin. Treat them like strategy. Because the right advert does more than attract applicants. It attracts belief. So stay clear, stay honest, stay attractive, and as always, remember to stay wild.